Happy hump day. It's Wednesday. How are you?
I'm raising the
Be
roof.
happy. Look at me. I'm happy. I'm happy. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
I love that you have the drawing just to reinforce that.
Yes, and I will sign it, and it will go, for grabs for somebody who wants to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for this.
Maybe I'll try to auction it to raise money for the shoes I'm trying to get donated.
Yes. But you only want new shoes, right?
Only want new shoes, yes.
Okay. Because my wife says I have to get rid of a pair of shoes that she walked in. So they're my work shoes, right? And the other day they got rained on really bad, and I was working in them. So I threw them in the garage, and she walked through the garage. She said, "There's a dead animal in the garage." And I said, "No, honey, those are my shoes."
Yeah, those need to go straight to the garbage. I wouldn't even suggest rescue mission or anything like that.
Yeah, I know. But it's very hard for me to throw things away anymore, But we were talking about this morning. So Amazon Prime, did you buy anything on Amazon Prime days?
No. I have not bought anything on Prime days, and I think maybe since the first year. When the first year happened, there were true deals.
Right.
And I cannot find anything. Actually, I searched for shoes, and they had a bunch, 18% off, 22%. That is not a sale. That is not a sale.
I was sitting there, and I'm like, because you were talking about we help you move. And my philosophy is now, if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to ask, am I willing to take it if I were to move?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And if I'm not buying it.
Yep. Yeah, that's a very, very good question. We have a lot of stuff, us Americans, and I look around sometimes and think, oh, good Lord, yeah.
So for me, my feet are like my mouth, very big. I wear a size 15 shoe, and it's very hard for me to find shoes. Now, I love deals. You can find some great deals for shoes like Nike, over at Ross and stuff like that, but they never have my size shoe, and it makes it nearly impossible to get shoes. So I literally I save mine for years and years because it's hard to find shoes for me. I'm Bigfoot.
Yeah, you are a Bigfoot. I think, you just fashion your own. I got some boxes that has some shoes. You just fashion them out for you.
Maybe I can just use the boxes instead of shoes. The boxes might be fine for my feet.
What I was going to say is what he spends in shoes because he can't get his size, he saves in the kids' T-shirts that he wears to make his muscles look bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
I wear medium shirts.
3X, and he buys a small. So that's right. Where I'm the opposite. My wife always tells me that I buy clothes. I'm a person who likes my clothes big.
Yeah.
I just don't like. Nobody needs to see the form of this body. And she's like, that shirt doesn't fit you. And I'm like, yeah, it does. And she goes, no, it's way too big.
Yeah.
And then I'll put on a shirt that she goes, now that fits you nice. And I'm like, I do this. I'm like, yeah, no, that's okay. Weird. Yeah. I do. I don't like the clothes next to me.
Yeah, but Danny, look, let me tell you something. I surely regret it when it's like 100 degrees outside and I'm sweaty and I can't get that small shirt off because the sweat from my shirt is sticking to my skin and I got to get the Jaws of Life, or I use the kitchen utensils, which my wife hates, to scrape it off. So believe me, I suffer.
It reminds me of that scene on Friends with Ross with the leather pants trying to get him off. And did you remember that? That was funny.
I could promise you one thing, Danny. You will never see me in leather pants.
Okay.
That I could promise you.
Well, maybe I can do that for my next fundraiser. Raise enough money and Chris will wear leather pants.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, Danny. I really don't.
If somebody, I have a pair that I'm selling, Chris. They are size 18 cleats. I might have a size 16 size cleats too. So just FYI.
There you go.
So you can just wear cleats.
There you go. Or just the boxes.
Everybody hear you walking down the street.
Yeah. All right. right.
No,
What's happening?
speaking of leather pants, we were talking about on today's show, we talk about important topics like badonkadonk donks. Right, Bob?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, we were talking about, what was the story again, Bob, about
It's
TSA agent?
people with fairly large derrieres setting off the TSA alarms.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
the story is that people who have particularly big butts are setting off TSA alarms, and
How is that possible?
I'm not sure how that is possible, but apparently it is.
Well, that makes me concerned about the type of equipment TSA is utilizing.
I will tell you how it's possible, Danny, because there's little buttons on the TSA machines when you walk through, and when your butt is that big, it hits those little buttons when you walk through, and that's how the alarm goes off. You ever see? It's a type. You ever see Yo MTV Raps? Remember Yo MTV
for
Raps?
A long time.
Well, these are the type of young ladies that are walking through with big posteriors, and
not just ladies. I mean, look, it could be a fat guy too.
No, big butts and fat butts are two different things, Bob. We can debate that on the show tomorrow. But I would be happy to be, work with TSA to find out why that's happening. I'll dedicate my time.
You're volunteering?
No I'm a nice person. What can I say?
Well, you got to do for the community. I like it.
Right. Though the TSA responded saying that they cannot verify the authenticity claims that are made on TikTok.
Very good. Oh, Lord.
All right. So, your poor listeners, what they have to suffer through here. Viewers, we'll get to news right now. Actually, no terrible news today. The Maryland. There you go. See, that's 2 days
sounds like he's sad about it. There's no terrible news today. Dag nabbit, we don't have any terrible news.
Well, I'm happy to report that there is no terrible news today. However, and this is a big topic that's going on, the Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project came up for discussion during the Frederick County Council's meeting on Tuesday. We've been talking about it. The nearly 70-mile-long power line would extend from northern Baltimore through Carroll County to southern Frederick County. During the public comment portion of this meeting, the council heard from Betsy McFarland from Adamstown. Now, she's opposed to the project and said it would negatively affect the county's scenic beauty. Also, in recent years, there's been a significant time and attention given to protecting the beautiful Sugarloaf region, and these proposed power lines are really contrary to the effort and undermine such important community planning processes, she said. Now, I'm really curious because I have not spoken yet to anybody that is actually for this. So if you're for it, I'd really love to know what your reasoning is for it. Because again, it's you're definitely the minority. Most people I talk to are 100% against it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. So why are they doing the project? Is it to deliver?
The amount of people moving up to the western part of Maryland in Frederick County, and they all want power. I mean, that's, but the problem is that they're all NIMBYs. They want it, but not in my backyard.
Right,
I get it. I understand them there, but you got to find a place. If those are probably the first people who are complaining when the power goes out. I can't get my power, and it's always a problem.
Yeah, so this is just, they need more power lines to deliver the electricity power to different communities and regions.
Right, and they want bigger power lines. They want, those big behemoth ones that will go on to your...
These are the huge metal,
Yes.
That's
what they're looking for.
Okay, there's got to be a way. Somebody's got to be able to get creative and beautify. You know how they have the cell tower at FCC that looks like a tree? You can't even tell it's there.
Yeah, I don't know how they can do that and be able to best word, administer to them, in case somebody has to climb up that power pole or whatever, which is one of the most dangerous jobs in the country. Yeah. Those guys get paid. I knew a guy who climbed those poles. He got paid $175 an hour to do that. But, one false move and he's a crispy critter.
Yeah.
See,
And there should be ways, and you got to find ways. I mean, I don't know where the transmission lines are now, and I guess I need to research that a little bit more. But find a place where it can go that will not affect people's property. Will not
Right.
affect, because everybody's going to be like, what can happen if I live underneath of these power lines?
Well,
And
that's the other big thing, right? So, tendency is property values decline and there is a potential health risk, right? There's always somebody who says that living near those power lines is not good for you. So
right.
that's the big problem, is that unfortunately we've grown too much and now there's no place to put the power lines that's not going to affect a neighborhood or house or
and
things like that.
I think the people who are moving into the area, obviously they're fine with it because, especially people that move from Montgomery County, maybe DC, where things like that, that's all you see. So you're
Yeah.
used to it. It doesn't bother you. But for those who've lived in this area, like Bob's grew up here, you grew up here, those who lived in this area for as long as you have your whole life, you're not used to seeing that. And you want to keep the beauty of the farmland, of the mountains and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
tend to go, in my opinion, more towards the people that's been here the whole life. I mean, if I've seen farms my whole life and the beautiful mountains, I don't want to see power lines around.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I really do. I agree. But you need the power. So, unless somebody can come up with a way to bury or hide or somehow, make it so it's not there, it's going to have to be there. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's not like they're going to start digging dirt tomorrow and
Yeah.
running lines. There's going to be a lot of meetings, EPA meetings, and other meetings, and people are going to have a lot of input. And so, if you are against this or if you're for it, then you need to make your voice heard to the people who are making the
Absolutely.
decisions.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
All right, getting back to other news here. Transit Services of Frederick County is reporting ridership has increased by 20% in 1 year. Now, the agency says between July 2023 and June 24th, more than 843,000 passengers boarded transit buses to get to their destinations. That's a significant increase from 700,000 passengers reported in fiscal year 2023. It's exciting to see more people riding our buses, says Frederick County Executive Jessica Fitzwater in a statement. Access to transportation is critical to a high quality of life, making it possible for people to get to work, health care, and food. I'm proud of the incredible outreach transit is doing to show residents how convenient it is to take the bus. Again, coming from Jessica Fitzwater. Now, to me, I think it's a mixture of gas prices being so high. And the fact that to buy a used car, it's a lot more expensive, or a new car, than it was years ago. And people right now can't afford it with inflation the way it is. And correct me if I'm wrong, is it transit still free to
I
ride
was
or
just going
no?
to say, transit
Okay.
is still free. So they kept that after the pandemic. And yeah, I think that's great. I think my problem with our transit is it is limited in the reach, right? So if you live anywhere kind of outside city limits,
Correct.
well, at all, you're not getting access and trying to get to certain places. But
But Danny, as we've talked about, me and Bob talked about, you've talked about, growth is getting to the point where transit's not going to have a choice. I mean, just look at Thurmont, how much Thurmont's growing, in places like that. Transit's not going to have a choice but to get out there. And my issue with the transportation and is the fact that, forgetting transit for a second, is Mark Train. Okay, you need to run the Mark Train more often into DC because you have a lot of commuters who go into DC to work, and I think that would hopefully help ease the issues we're having on the roads on 270 and 15. I think Mark Train only runs twice out of Frederick, or maybe three times out of Frederick in the morning, and two or three times back into Frederick. And I just think we're in an area where you're going to have to increase that.
yeah, yep, I agree.
All right, getting back to news. Now, I know I said I had good news. This last bit of news is about a burning house, but the good news was the man was rescued. So there you go. It's all good news. One man was rescued from a burning house. Unfortunately, he was medevac to Bayview Burn Center with critical injuries following a house fire Tuesday night. But the point is, at least he is still alive, and that's the most important thing. I always say you can replace material things, but you can't replace your life.
That's
So
true.
our thoughts are with him. And taking a look at the weather. Mostly today, mostly sunny skies this morning, followed by thunderstorms during the afternoon. Potential, keyword potential for severe thunderstorms, high of 92. And we've been in such a drought where I live over in Carroll County. I saw dark skies yesterday, felt some raindrops. I was telling my wife, oh, I think we're finally going to get some rain, but that was it, just a few raindrops and done. So we could definitely use, and real quickly too. Also, I was telling you, I go and get spring water over the mountains over there off Yellow Springs, and you can tell when you're getting a drought because that water isn't coming out as fast as it normally does when we get that heavy rains.
Yeah.
Taking a look at tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, high of 88. Tomorrow night, a few clouds, low near 65.
Very nice.
Well, in sports, I won't take as long because there's not a whole lot going on in sports. You had the Major League All-Star game yesterday in Arlington. That's a wrap. The American League beat the National League 5-3 to mark its 10th victory in 11 years. The National League snapped an epic 9-game skid last year. Looked like they might be able to put back-to-back victories together, but it did not happen. The junior circuit stormed back with 5 unanswered runs, highlighted by the 2-run double by the Yankees outfielder Juan Soto, who came around to score a tying run on a pinch hit single by Cleveland Guardians' David Fry. And to put the icing on it, Boston Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran, who was named the MVP, hit the go-ahead home run. So, since 2000, the American League is 19-4-1 in All-Star games, and now 48-44 and 2 all-time against the National League. There were 23 pitches of at least 100 miles an hour or higher last night. That was the most in a single All-Star game since 2008. Now, the Frederick Keys, they had their first weekly honor of the 2024 season. Right-hander pitcher Christian Rodriguez was named to the Major League Baseball Draft League Pitcher of the Week following a complete game against the Mahoning Valley Scrappers Friday night at Nimio Field. Now, he was also, more good news, was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles on Monday. He pitched a complete game and set a draft league single-game record with 16 strikeouts. So it looks like maybe one of those few pitchers that the Orioles actually did draft is going to be a good one.
Yeah. Wow. Very good.
Bob,
good
stop with the good news. You're making me look bad here.
Brevity.
Brevity. you just had the not terrible news. I think that's what I'm going to call this segment. The not terrible news.
And let me say one more thing. If you do go to a Frederick Keys game, get a program, you know what you'll see in there? My beautiful face and Bob's beautiful face in that program. So, by all means, keep it and frame it. There you go.
More reasons. Yeah. We want to purchase to support the Keys, but
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And then just open it up, the rats run away.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by this morning, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Daddy.
Oh, have a good one.